Graduation day is supposed to be a celebration, a milestone marking the start of a bright future. But for 22-year-old Samantha Lee, valedictorian of her class at the University of Chicago, it became the beginning of a nightmare that would shock the nation. On a sunny June afternoon in 2024, as her family gathered to watch her walk across the stage, Samantha received a mysterious package delivered to her apartment. What she found inside would unravel a web of horror, exposing the dark underbelly of organized crime and human trafficking in America. Samantha Lee had always been the pride of her family. The daughter of Vietnamese immigrants, she excelled in academics, volunteered at local shelters, and dreamed of becoming a lawyer to fight for the vulnerable. But behind her achievements was a shadow that haunted her every step. Her older sister, Angela, had vanished without a trace 2 years earlier while working as a waitress in Chinatown. Despite exhaustive searches, police investigations, and media coverage, Angela's case went cold, leaving the Lee family in a limbo of grief and unanswered questions. On the morning of Samantha's graduation, her mother received a phone call from an unlisted number. The caller spoke in a distorted voice, congratulating the family and hinting that Angela would be celebrating with you in spirit. The call was dismissed as a cruel prank, but it set everyone on edge. After the ceremony, Samantha returned to her apartment to find a large, beautifully wrapped gift box on her doorstep. There was no card, only a single red rose tied to the ribbon. Inside the box was a smaller, velvet-lined case. When Samantha opened it, she screamed, a sound that would haunt her neighbors for weeks. Inside was the severed head of her missing sister, Angela, eyes closed as if in sleep, lips painted in the same shade she wore the night she disappeared. The police were called immediately, and the apartment became a crime scene. The medical examiner confirmed the head was preserved with chemicals, indicating Angela had been dead for months. But there was more. A USB flash drive was taped to the inside of the box. Detective Marcus Hall, a seasoned homicide investigator, took charge of the case. The USB contained dozens of video files, gruesome footage of Angela and other young women being held captive, forced to recite their names and beg for help. The backgrounds in the videos showed bare concrete walls, flickering fluorescent lights, and, in one clip, a calendar with dates circled in red. The most recent video, dated just a week before the package arrived, showed Angela pleading, "If you're watching this, please don't forget me. Tell my sister I love her." The videos ended with a masked figure holding up a sign. "Congratulations, Samantha. Now you know the truth." The investigation quickly shifted from a missing person case to a hunt for a sadistic criminal network. Forensics traced the packaging materials to a warehouse in Gary, Indiana, known for its ties to organized crime. Surveillance footage from the area captured a white van making deliveries late at night, its plates registered to a shell company linked to a notorious human trafficking ring operating across the Midwest. The FBI joined the investigation, connecting Angela's case to at least 8 other young women who had vanished under similar circumstances in the past 3 years. As Samantha and her family reeled from the horror, Detective Hall uncovered a chilling pattern. The trafficking ring targeted vulnerable immigrants and students, luring them with promises of work or safety, then forcing them into captivity. The break in the case came when a survivor, May Lin, escaped from a safe house in Milwaukee and identified several of her captors. She described a network run by a man known only as the Collector, who took pleasure in taunting families and sending souvenirs to those who resisted. May Lin's testimony, combined with digital forensics from the USB, led authorities to a rural property outside Rockford, Illinois. There, They discovered a hidden basement filled with evidence, personal belongings of the victims, ledgers of payments, and more horrifyingly, a walk-in freezer containing body parts preserved for future deliveries. The ringleader, Viktor Petrov, a Russian national with a history of violent crime, was arrested along with 5 accomplices. During interrogation, Petrov showed no remorse, boasting about his collection and mocking the families who had tried to fight back. The trial was a media sensation, with Samantha Lee testifying about her sister's disappearance and the horror of receiving Angela's head as a graduation gift. The evidence was overwhelming, and Petrov was convicted on multiple counts of murder, kidnapping, and human trafficking, receiving a life sentence without parole. Samantha's life was forever changed. She became an advocate for trafficking victims, founding the Angela Lee Foundation to support families and push for tougher laws against organized crime. Her story sparked a nationwide conversation about the hidden dangers facing young women and the need for vigilance in the fight against human trafficking. But the scars remained. Samantha still receives anonymous messages, cryptic emails, and late-night calls, hinting that the collector had more victims and that the network, though wounded, was not destroyed. Each message is a chilling reminder that evil often hides in the shadows, waiting for the next vulnerable soul.